What is up, guys? Tony here of Geekly Games, and we are back. It has been a long break since our last recording with, I guess, with Numamon being a playable deck again, being with the restrictions that it's gotten. Just a lot's been going on. Kind of just stepped off the game for a little bit. Did some housework. Played Yu-Gi-Oh for a little bit. But since 2.5, we have been grinding back into the game, shaking off the rust, and with a ban list. I only told you guys that once it happened, I'll just start recording a video. So today here we are with several cards here that Bandai has decided to knock to one, and one of them just being cut the entire game. And to start that off, it is Matashita. Honestly, I thought this card was going to be, pair ban. A lot of people are saying, oh yeah, just Purple Hybrid's just not going to be able to play this anymore, but we'd still be able to play in other decks, because I'm playing this for one time, getting that one card back, an option, Digimon, whatever, whichever you needed in the trash. Sure, yeah. But they just said, since with Purple Hybrid, this card may, be trouble again in the future, and they just X'd them out. So I was actually really, really close to getting the box toppers of these cards, and they were going for like 10, 12 something dollars a piece, and I'm glad I didn't touch it. I just had the normal printing of this card, and now they are completely useless to me. So as of the 28th, this card is just donezo. And I wanted to confirm if I wasn't dreaming or not, whatever. So on the Digimon card deck dev, here is the symbol just means no. So basically, you got one more week of having fun with Purple Hybrid. Dominate your locals if you want to. If there are any, events going on around out there, you got one more week to play it, and after that, it's just done. So then after that, we obviously knew this was coming. The Mother D Reaper and Shoto. This was completely toxic, to be the least. Like, never Bandai thought this would ever be a thing, but someone in their basement cooked it up and became a thing. So basically, with this, you'd have a 15k unaffected blocker. Yeah, there are decks now, a bunch of blue decks like Seedramon, or just even having a level 5 inheritable says this target's attack can't be switched. Yeah, you can go right through Mother. Nothing you do about that. But if you didn't have that card, you had to go through a 15k Digimon, which also they can pair with Black Tie, which I don't have on here because it's just cards that are restricted to one or banned. But the Black Timber Tie 4 cost says when attack target is redirected, you can give it plus 2,000. And if you have multiple of those, now Mother D Reaper is looking at 18, 20 something K Digimon that your Digimon is just nowhere near. You could be up at the threshold, yeah, I'm just above 15, 17 or whatever, and all of a sudden it just matches. Opposing player doesn't care if their Mother D Reaper goes down, but they only care if yours goes down, so very, very oppressive, and there's just, so much defense they can do. Sit there, do nothing, and this was also really paired up well with Jestimon, so you just wall up, make your opponent completely exhaust the resources, play an option card for reduced cost, and yeah, Jestimon just takes over the game. So, saw it coming like 10 miles away, and finally they hit it. It should have been obviously hit the moment it was seen. I don't know why it took this long to do it, so take it as you will. March 28th, we'll never see it again. Blinding Rain Drac Raid, another surprising. I don't know why they took this long to do, since they hit Hammer Spark. Hammer Spark being a zero cost option, gave you one memory, but in the security gave you two. Literally what Jack Raid does, except the fact in the main, for every 10 cards in the trash, you gain one memory. This was pretty oppressive in Lilith Mill, but that kind of archetype deck is just yeah, I'm just gonna high roll, but you can obviously beat them because cards like Paladin mode exist. You just drop it 9 on your turn. Okay, cool. I'm gonna put all my cards back in from my trash to deck and watch the Lilith player mill themselves out at this point, since they have no way to add cards back unless now they're playing with Beelzemon Ace. Blast mode, which they can return their cards back, but don't see that being a thing. But this is another card that could have just been hit alongside with Hammer Spark, and the same thing with Blinding Ray right here, because this is only seen in Magnamon X. Magnamon X just basically says, alright, I know I can't get past to this thing, so I'm just going to play Blinding Ray here, lose my security, and yeah, I'm unaffected, gains plus X, and what are you going to do? So, and they have some ways to recover cards back too, so they can just, play Exodus. But now it's the one of, they have it in hand, it's a one-time thing for a self, unaffected status, instead of having 4 copies of it and doing 4 other times. Doesn't have a security effect though, but like just this effect in general for Magnamon just makes it very repressive, what people would some say. So these two, they should have been hit a while ago, but we finally got the hit. And then speaking of should have been hit a long time ago, Mirage is finally to 1. I think also because with Invisimon being a thing, Invisimon was also being teched in this. Basically, not only this card sitting on the field, anytime you draw a card that wasn't like naturally a draw card on your turn, this card just single-handedly steals the turn. And now with Vizimon, it sits in the bottom security of their opponent and comes out every other turn and bounces shit or bottom decks things. So constantly you're being added cards, so they finally had to hit this. More reasons than none. Kind of, it makes you unplay the game. And plus in the late game where like you have 10, 14, 15 X amount of cards in hand, the moment you draw one, it just, alright, I'll gain 4 memory. My turn. So finally, and this card's been topping a lot, and pretty sure like even just being as a one of, and cards like with the scrambles, you could just keep getting this back. So as long as you have one in this trash, and you have a bunch of scrambles in hand, you have X copies of this card still. So take it as you will. This card is still probably going to see some play, but a bigger top end blue card is going to be more prevalent now, and this will just obviously be a one of. Henry Lugamon, I kind of wish they hit the egg. I thought the egg was more of a problem than this card, but obviously this card too kind of just enables very often the turn 2 OTK that you can do by taking this and then getting a Digimon. Like you go into this, Tamaguchi. I'm gonna say the name wrong every time. I apologize. And then you get the level 7 back, and you completely just FTK right there. I've seen it happen in my locals multiple times. DeAndre was one of the players at our locals that loves this deck through and through, and puts in the results with this card. So I can see why they hit this not rather than the egg, but maybe the egg will get touched next time, depending on even this is a one of. And like I said with the scrambles before, that deck clearly loves putting stuff in the trash. So if they get this in the trash, they can constantly get scrambles back and go through it. But I think they play other options rather than that. But the deck may evolve to put scrambles in to kind of rework this back or get it in there and then somehow get it back. But it is what it is. Decided to hit this card, nothing else. So you are forced to play with a new Fenrir, which is okay. Obviously, you can play with the old Fenrir too, which is not bad at all. I mean, like, when we had it before, it was still able to OTK you by spitting bodies out, swinging on suspend, and do all the shenanigans that way. So you didn't really need to go into 7, but the deck kind of wants you to do that funny play, just without this card now. And what I have never saw here, but very prevalent in Japan, I guess, is this card here. Kazu, the Townmon loop. I didn't know what it really did, but I'm guessing you're looping with a bunch of options that you're able to do, and spitting it out, constantly controlling the board. I really can't much say about this because I never see it play here at my locals or at any regional I went to. Haven't even seen this card, but since it was really prevalent in Japan, it's a best of one. Basically, once they're in their loop, your opponent just completely walked out of the game, and they're just sitting there and Yu-Gi-Oh! Fashion, spending X amount of minutes just doing something that doesn't advance the game. So this is the card that's been doing it. So they hit it to 1, but not really seen here in America, but really seen in Japan. They cut it out to 1. So that just means that like it could be we might have a best of 1 here in the future if we're gonna match it up, since this card wasn't really a thing for on the U.S. side. aka the east side of us. But in Japan, this was all over the place. So there could be some time that they unite the whole front and we go best of one. So cards like this, we will be able to see it because it's a huge combo thing, whatever. But they hit this, they hit this. So there's that. And now we have hybrids. You know, no more shenanigans of red and blue. So a Goonimon right here, basically, you can do it with the Mario fashion. Just build your stack in the back, going like level 4, level 4, level 4, level 4, and then if you're able to get into a Goonie, or just have a bunch of sources on your tamers, go into a Goonie, and then actually no, this actually can't go into a hybrid, so you can't do that. But yeah, basically you just go a stack in the back, be able to put sources in if you're able to, and then just swing X security. So everything I said before was kind of meh, but you're basically gonna just go on rookie, digivolve this in the back for 2, pass turn, push out, go straight into old ancient gray, and swing 3-4 checks right there, and then hybrid for game. Yeah, no more with this card. And basically the same thing with Lobo. I actually gotta move these cards real quick because I have like 8 copies of this card now, all limited to 1, so don't know how I'm gonna move those, so so I'm biting the bullet on this one, but same thing, basically with Ancient Guru, you basically just come out with this and yeah, knock something out of the field, removes the security. You're able to do this multiple times. Basically, it's like there's nothing you can do because it's when digivolving, so no ace mechanic can stop this. So they decided to hit these to 1. Still very, very powerful. Used, obviously, in my opinion, the new hybrids that, you digivolve on top of your tamer while swinging, going to another hybrid of opposite name, and then going into your ancients for reduced cost is, in my opinion, more powerful than these right here. But rather than you just playing 4 copies of all this to do all that, it's limited to 1. And the most random ban, because we got to do something for Imperial, is Stingmon. Stingmon, basically, it's being hit because of the draw power. I mean, it's alright. In my list, I only played this as a 1 of 2 of. It wasn't even a 4 of. But if you had it as a 4, you constantly had draw power. And with combination of the Vmon promo, you can also get these out of the BT16 adventure boxes. That also has, when attacking, now once per turn. If it's 2 colors, draw a card. So if you had that and this, and you swinging 3 or 4 times, you're drawing that many cards times 2. So I did have times where I had this in the Vmon. I swung three times with Pyildra, because you have Davis and Ken, you're able to unsuspend too. Yeah, that's 6 cards. I have a quarter of my deck in my hand. What is my opponent going to do? They remove, I think, so I can go all right back into it because I just have everything in my hand. So I guess that's the direction they went to, is the limit the draw power, but they could have hit other things. They could have hit the Pyildra for all we care and completely gut the deck, but hitting Stingmon here is meh, it's alright. There's other Stingmons we can use out there are green, like the old one for Evo for 1. Inheritable, not the best, or even if it has one, I don't know. I don't play it. But you could just use the structure deck ones that has piercing on it. The deck wants to pierce anyway, so just having the Vmon to draw still, that's still fine in my opinion. But no Medieval Gallant. I think that was just the one card I wish that was on here, and the Balmont Egg to be here, but they escaped for now, just like Mirage did in like 1, 2, 3 ban lists ago. So maybe one day when people are using more medievals and it's becoming pretty prevalent as a generic level 6, I'm not going to go into details, but a lot of people said medieval should have been 1 or even semi-limited, rather than a 4 of. I don't know. But let me know your thoughts and comments down below. What cards you thought would be hit, should be on here, and if you are just as upset as I am a little bit with Matashita, because I was going to build Purple Hybrid, but now I'm just not going to. I knew this was going to be a thing, but this was kind of a slap in the face. Wish it was just been a pair ban. You could still play Purple Hybrid. It's just, no more loop shenanigans, gaining 6 memory out of complete nowhere, so Again, let me know your thoughts and concerns down below. Um, this is Geek Legion Games, and Tony signing off.